Hello Airgunners, Matt again from Pitbull Airguns. I know it's been a while, but finally got some help. We'll introduce him at some other point, but really excited to have our new helper. Today, after I know it's been a long wait doing stuff, we're gonna mainly work on the trigger. So in our last video, or one of our last videos, if you want to look back on that, we completely tore down a stock Bulldog. Now we're just left with a bare receiver, and we've got our trigger parts here. And we're going to, I'm going to show you how to do a trigger job so that you can make a lighter trigger, smoother trigger, and a crisper trigger. There's a few other guys that have started doing some trigger stuff on YouTube, and I think they've done a good job. I just have a different outlook on it. So let me get everything set here, and we'll go through it step by step and get you a nice smooth trigger for your Bulldog. All right, so we've got our bare receiver as promised. These are our pivot pins. There's 4 of them. Nope, where'd the other one go? There it is. And we're going to use these 4 holes. So if you'll notice, they're only tight on one side. They don't go in this side, but they will slide in this side. So we're going to put them in from this side. Let's take our armorer's block here. And we want to make sure they're in far enough that they're completely straight. And this will just be our jig for setting the triggers up. All right, so our next step here is I have a few plastic spacers to help hold these things up off of this ledge right here. Otherwise they can get in a little bit of a bind. But we'll put that there. This goes here. This piece is the piece we're going to be taking off and on a lot. We're going to have to file on this front edge where it meets the sear. This is our spring. So when the gun is cocked, the hammer will be sitting against this ledge right here. And you can see the sear engages that lock. And as we pull, we've got 2 humps here. The first one and then the second one. And as we get to that, that's kind of our second stage of our first stage. But then we've got a lot of creep before it pops off. So we're going to get rid of some of this distance here to get rid of all that creep. Then after we're done with that, I'll show you how to lighten the load on the spring a little bit too. Another thing I should have mentioned, it's really rough surface, and we're going to polish all that, make sure it all is mirror smooth and glides nice and easy. When we put a little bit of lube on it, it'll be butter smooth. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use an abrasive brush and to do a rough polish first to get the major part of the roughness off, and then we'll come back with a cotton deal for our Dremel tool and some compound, and we'll really smooth it out. So you've got your major contact points here. You can see the little white. If you've shot the gun a bunch, you can see where it touches. So we're going to smooth this. We're going to smooth this. We're going to smooth the top here where it engages. We're going to do the bottom of that. We're also going to do where the spring touches the back side of our components, because that adds roughness too. You can feel it in the trigger. When you get a real smooth trigger, you can feel that. So here we go. Whatever that coating is just really, really rough, and we want to get rid of it. very important. You want to make sure that you don't round that corner off. The sharpness of that corner is very important. So when we run our wheel, we're going to run it so that it spins this way and doesn't take, if we run it this way, it's going to help round our corner. So we're going to run this way to keep our corner really sharp. And we're working on it pretty lightly because we'll do the rest of it by hand because it does an important job. Just a simple cotton buffing deal from Dremel. And I know this isn't a Dremel, I'm just a cheap Chinese knockoff. You can order these, I ordered this off of Amazon. It's got lots of different grades. This metal's so hard that I just usually use the roughest stuff and it does a really good job. Oop. Don't spill my beer. All right. Okay. So this is still pretty rough. It's not taking it off real easy. So I'm going to show you another trick here. I keep emery cloth, so this is some 220 and some 400. We're just going to take the 400. We'll put our file and our vise just to give us a good handhold. And you can take your, take it, lay it on there, and feel to where it's flat. A little bit goes a long ways, guys. You're not trying to take a whole lot of metal off. And I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's much smoother. And the smoother you can get it, the smoother your trigger is going to be. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I can still see the line, the wear line, from where the pivot was originally touching it. So I know we haven't gone deep enough. So I hope you can see with the camera the difference between an unpolished side and a polished side. You can really feel the difference. I mean, this is almost like a sandpaper finish, and this is just mirror glossy smooth. All we're worried about is the top edge of these, but they are wonderful smooth. We got our bottom edge really smooth. This gun's been fired many times, so it already had a wear pattern in it, but we smoothed it out. We didn't do this front edge yet because we're going to be reducing that edge, but we wanted to get everything else polished so we could have a feel for everything. Okay, let me start putting everything in the receiver. Okay, I just want to kind of get a look here. I had made a mark. On the parts here with a Sharpie, but I want to look at it again. Oh, and yeah, you can really feel how much smoother it is already. So as our second point of contact comes in, then I want to see how much room I have between here and this face. And we'll let you watch it again as it drags across before it pops. That's a lot of drag. That's a lot of trigger pull. That's loss of accuracy. That's big loss of accuracy. So we want to get rid of a lot of that. So I'm going to take just this part back out, and we're going to reduce this length. A little bit goes a long ways. So if you take too much, it's hard to put it back on there. Anyway, we don't have to really worry about this angle becoming too far this way, but you don't want it to do this. You can have more angle this way, but 90 degrees is best, but you do not want to have an angle like this. All right? So I'm going to start with a hand file, and then as we get closer, we'll use the sandpaper on the end of the file. All right? This corner is just as important as this corner. If this gets rounded at all, if this edge gets rounded, then as this breaks, it won't be a smooth break. So when we when we file this, we want to make sure that we get it really, really flat and square. All right, we're going to get it down low so that it's not up high, then our piece can flex. So you want it down low as close as possible. Okay, I went and got a new file. After we filed this a bit, I've got a relief cut on it. We're gonna do our first test fit to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. Again, folks, a little bit at a time. Don't try to take it all in one shot, because if you take it too far, you can't go back. All right, so we're back to, we're taking it, we're at our second hump now, and let's watch how much drag we have now. Oh, much reduced. We probably got 50% of it off. But we still have a ways to go. Let me go ahead and do it again. Now we're getting better. Okay, again, slow and easy wins the race. Oh yeah. See how little drag we have now? Okay, at this point, I'm still going to use my file, but I'm going to put emery cloth on it to take lighter cuts and start smoothing it. Okay, so now we're going to finish up with our compounds and our Dremel. So again, our bit's rotating this way, so we want to make sure that we're not going against this corner. Okay, so one thing I want to make a note of, inevitably we're going to have a real gunsmith watch this video and say, that's not how you do that. So if you really want to get into this, you can buy polishing honing stones from Brownells and some other places, and they have jigs to like really set these things up square, and you hone them, and I mean they are jewel triggers at that point. If we were trying to send somebody to the moon with this gun, we would probably do that. We're hunters and we're having fun, and this will work really well. I kind of try to show all these videos for the average guy to be able to do it, and pretty much anybody can get this stuff off of Amazon. You're not spending thousands of dollars. A lot of you guys will already have a lot of these tools. So I'm just trying to do simple stuff. So I know there's going to be guys out there that say, you can do better than that. Yes, you can. You're 100% right. We can do better. And a lot of times I do better. I'm just trying to take a quick video to help everybody out. And if you don't feel comfortable doing any of this stuff, please let us know. There's a few of us here, and we will be more than happy to do your gun for you. We've had about a 3-month backlog on custom builds. I've got 2 other guys that are willing to help build now, so things are picking up fast, and so just so you know. The next thing, the last part really of the trigger itself, is the spring. So this is the spring that goes here to separate these 2 pieces. It's pretty stiff. Benjamin did a really good job of keeping everything simplified. So this is the exact same spring that is in your safety to hold tension on your safety. So if you go a little bit too far, don't worry about it, you got a spare. You can always go back to the way it was stock. You don't really want to make this too light because of safety reasons. It needs to retain the ability as you start to pull the trigger, and when you let go, it needs to have the strength to pull it back itself back apart. If you make it too light, then the just natural friction of the grease and the pins on the pivot points, it won't come apart. But if you want to attempt it, a real easy way is to put it on a pin, just a way to hold it, and then depending on how strong your fingers are, just rotate it around a little bit more. Just to give you an idea, stock, it's about the width of our deal there. So I'm going to bring it around. And so you can see we've lost some of our width there. I've gone more than that, and I've gone less than that, and you can always open it back up a little bit if you want. As you open it up, it's not quite as strong as it was. So remember that. I'm going to test again. I don't know if y'all saw how hard I was having to pull on this earlier, but it is so much easier now. And we haven't even put any lube on it yet. We put some lube on this thing. It's going to be like butter. I'm so excited for this guy. This is a customer's gun. We're just putting it on here. I use a manual analog Timony trigger gauge. It's really hard to get it hooked up on here, but we're going to go from probably a 4.5 pound trigger to about 1.5 pounds on this gun. So, all right. I'm going to do a final assembly here, make sure it all works in real time. All right, so we're back together. Man, that is so smooth. You know, the one thing that I did not show you, the hammer, as it slides in and out of here, it's pretty rough, just like the other parts were. They have that same coating. You can see it down in here. I stuck this on a lathe and just used emery cloth. You can grip this area with a drill and spin it and emery cloth it. You don't have to have a fancy lathe, or you can just hold it and, you know, run around it like that with some emery cloth. Just work your way around. You're not really trying to take material off, folks. You're just trying to smooth it up. Let's see. That bottom of that sear connects right there, and you don't want to change that angle, but making it nice and smooth will help you out. So I'm going to push on that and pull the trigger, and you can watch my finger go down and get stuck. But that's pretty much all there is to it. It's really simple. I sure appreciate you tuning in to watch. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I do try to read and answer every comment. I'm trying to think what we will do next. I think the next video will probably be, let's see, drilling out the port that goes to the valve area. And that's your whole, what we're going to do is we're just going to let more air go through and up into the barrel. So we'll have to drill out the valve, we'll have to drill out the barrel, and a few other little things, and do a lot of polishing there too. Thanks again for watching, folks. I really appreciate y'all coming, or viewing the video. Had a lot of support from all of you folks, and I really appreciate it. Here at Pitbull Airguns, we're really trying to be your one-stop shop for everything for the Bulldog. There's more and more parts being made every day for these guns, and we're really excited about the opportunities. We're hitting over 300 foot-pounds of energy with these guns nowadays. That's almost double with air than what they come factory. They advertise at 200, but we always know that that's not always right. So, and with helium, we're hitting these things out hundreds and hundreds of yards. One thing I would like to say, some of this is pretty intricate, and getting a hammer and trigger system wrong can be a danger. So if you're not 100% confident in your ability to do this, then please don't. If you don't want to send it to us, and we'd love to have your business, but I know sometimes that's not always feasible. We have a lot of customers in Hawaii, a lot of customers, seems like a lot of them in Netherlands and Germany and Denmark and things like that, that are watching these videos too. So, and we're happy about that. It's nice to be a worldwide company and know that we have airgunner friends all over. This should be something that any air gunsmith anywhere in the world should be able to watch the video and know what I'm talking about and be able to do just as good or possibly a better job than me. I'm just an old dumb jarhead that's gotten into air guns and just excited as a puppy with 2 feeders. So y'all have fun shooting, send your lead downrange, and we'll see you next time.